Well, hi everyone, and welcome to Leave Hustle Behind. This is our time where we gather on Thursdays at noon Pacific to have a few minutes to leave some hustle behind and talk about ease and what we can do to jump off of the hustle train and make life feel like there's a bit more ease and flow in it. So today what I'm talking about is confidence. I recently worked with a client who was going into a new role. She's been introduced or invited to go into a new role. And I wanted to share with you some of the tools that I used with her to see if they might be helpful for you too. So this was my client, Danny. And side note, that's not her real name, but we're going to call her Danny. So Danny and I were talking recently. She works for an organization that she loves, and there's been some discussions about her moving into a director role. And while she's excited about this and she feels like she's ready for this and she's totally capable of doing this role, it also triggered some stuff for her. And she was feeling afraid and definitely feeling like her confidence was sinking, and she didn't really know how to bring her confidence back up. And it especially hit her when she was preparing for a meeting and suddenly had this spin of feeling like she didn't know what she was doing. Other people were thinking through problems faster. And she just kind of hit this spin of, what if I don't know what I'm doing? What if I make big mistakes? Then feeling overwhelmed, and then asking herself this question of like, what if I'm incapable of doing this role? What if they're looking at me to fill this director position, and what if I'm incapable of actually doing it? So what we did is a few exercises to help slow the momentum of those thoughts that were creating that feeling of fear and overwhelm and spin within her. And I started out by asking her to imagine herself in this director role as if she were a very seasoned director. Like she's been in the role for 5+ years. Maybe she's even mentored other people as a director or new directors. And just to close her eyes and take a few minutes imagining herself as a seasoned director. And then we checked in a little bit, like, can you feel it? Can you feel yourself being in that role? Can you see things differently as you consider things as a seasoned director? And once we got to this place where she was connected to it, she could sense what it would be like if she were a seasoned director. Then I said, stay in that place and imagine this meeting that you're preparing for. Would you prepare for it any differently as a seasoned director? And that's when it was like she went from overwhelm and fear to clarity, and her thoughts just organized like that. And she said, yeah, I would totally do it differently. I would do it differently than I've been approaching it. She's like, I can see that I've been spending too much time in the details. And now it's like I can see the big picture and more of the strategy of where we want to go. And I think that I'm going to approach this whole meeting differently. I said, good. And then just continue to take that feeling of being the seasoned director into what you're doing. So prepare for the meeting in that way, and then take that energy into the meeting. And it became a big shift for her in her confidence, mainly because she spent some time imagining herself through the lens of a seasoned director that backed off her fearful thoughts. It's like she wasn't afraid, she wasn't spinning in fear, she wasn't spinning in a what if, she wasn't spinning in feeling overwhelmed. So it allowed her to tap into what she already knows and how she can access what she already knows in the role, the way that she sees things. It's basically just that mental shift. It's a shift from an overwhelmed mindset to an empowered mindset. And we did it by having her just stepping into the role and imagining herself being a seasoned director. But the cool thing is that these are tools that anybody can use, whether you are, up for a promotion or whether or not you're an entrepreneur and trying new things. we can all practice this tool of stepping into that which we are growing into and imagining ourselves already there. And then being in that place of without fear and feeling the confidence, and then using that perspective to our benefit. So maybe you're thinking about doing something new, or there's an area in your life where you want to grow. And this could be anything from like if you want to do new things at the gym to you want to start a podcast. Well, imagine if you were a pro at those things, if you were really good at it already. Well, how might you approach it differently? Can you see it with a different lens at all? Can you feel what it would be like? So for instance, like if you were thinking about starting a podcast, well, spend a little bit of time imagining yourself as if you are a seasoned podcaster. You're really good at this. You're really confident in it. It feels easy. Okay, well, as you're preparing to do a podcast, how might you do it differently being that seasoned podcaster? So again, you can use this with anything in your life where you feel like you're growing. And this tool, this mindset shift tool, can really help you access confidence and can help you access what you already know that you may not be accessing because fear is blocking it, or your thoughts about your capabilities are blocking it. When we can remove that, it's amazing the good stuff that we already know, that we kind of come to realize like, oh, I'm able to see that from a totally different perspective. And I have new ideas about this that are really exciting. So I would highly suggest, if you're wanting to expand in any way, if you're wanting to grow in any way, to try this on and just see how it works for you. And then I'd love to hear what you think. So please post a comment. And if you have any questions, I check out the comments and I answer questions in the comments. I also do this Leave Hustle Behind broadcast weekly. So the other cool thing is that if you have a question and it feels like we're not quite able to answer it really well in just the written comments, I can come back next week and also address your question, which is super fun. So I love having you join me. I love doing these broadcasts and hanging out with you on our Thursdays. And I hope to hang out with you again next Thursday. I also just wanted to let you know that I do have a free workshop going on right now. So if you haven't signed up, I have a link in the comment section so you can check it out. What I did is I put together a whole workshop of my EASE formula, where I walk you through the formula of mindset, action, and compassion, and how to use this in your life so that you can shift from hustling and stressed and overwhelmed into a space of feeling that flow and ease. And it's really following this formula, and you can apply it to any part of your life. So I hope that you will join me there too. You can check out that link. And then I'm looking forward to hanging out with you again next Thursday. Okay, I hope that you have a great day. Take care. Bye.